Imagine a battlefield from long ago. Two great armies stand ready to fight. At the front, brave foot soldiers called infantry form a solid wall. Behind them, powerful war elephants charge forward, their heavy steps shaking the ground. Swift horsemen known as cavalry wait on the sides, ready to race around the enemy. In the center, a wise king and his powerful advisor watch everything, planning their next move. This scene of war, with its strategy and different kinds of fighters, is not just a story from a history book. It is the very idea behind one of the world's oldest and most loved games: chess. This game is a tiny war fought on a checkered board of 64 squares. The story of chess begins over 1500 years ago in a place called India. Around the 7th century, a new game was invented. It was called Chaturanga. This name meant 4 divisions of the military. It represented the 4 main parts of an ancient Indian army: the infantry, the cavalry, the elephants, and the chariots. Each piece on the board moved in a special way, just like the real soldiers they stood for. The goal was simple, but very hard to achieve. You had to capture the other army's king. This wasn't just a game of luck, it was a game of pure skill, a test of who could think more steps ahead than their opponent. The game of Chaturanga did not stay in India for long. Traders and travelers carried it along ancient routes like the famous Silk Road. Soon, the game arrived in the powerful Persian Empire. The Persians loved the game and gave it a new name: Shatranj. They also introduced new words that we still use in chess today. The Persian word for king was Shah. When the king was in danger, they would say Shah Mat, which means the king is helpless or the king is defeated. Does that sound familiar? It should, because this is where we get the famous chess term checkmate, the ultimate goal of the game. After Persia, the game continued its travels. When Arab armies conquered Persia, they discovered Shatranj and quickly fell in love with it. They were the ones who spread the game even further. They carried it across the Middle East into northern Africa and eventually into Europe through Spain and Italy around the 10th century. As chess entered Europe, it began to change in bigger ways. The game was adapted to fit the European way of life during the Middle Ages. The old chariot piece, which wasn't used in European armies, was replaced by the castle or rook. The king's advisor piece, which was a fairly weak piece in the original game, transformed into the most powerful piece on the board: the queen. By the 15th century, chess had become a favorite pastime of nobles and scholars all across Europe. It was seen as the royal game, a perfect activity for the educated and the powerful. It was a way to show off your intelligence and your strategic mind. Learning to play chess was considered an important part of a good education, alongside things like reading, writing, and music. For centuries, chess was seen as more than just a game. It was a measure of a person's mind. To be good at chess, you had to be patient, you had to see patterns, and you had to plan many moves into the future. It became a metaphor for life itself, a struggle where careful planning and smart thinking led to success. As the game grew more popular, great players became famous, like sports stars of today. In the 19th century, players like Paul Morphy from America amazed the world with their incredible talent. Morphy was a chess genius who could defeat the best players in Europe with ease, often playing many games at once without even looking at the boards. These famous players, known as grandmasters, helped turn chess into a competitive spectacle. Tournaments were organized, and people would gather to watch the masters battle each other. The game was no longer just a quiet hobby, it was an intense and thrilling intellectual sport. One of the most dramatic moments in chess history was the Cold War match of 1972. This was when the American challenger Bobby Fischer faced the Soviet world champion, Boris Spassky. The match took place in Reykjavik, Iceland, and it was headline news all over the world. It was seen as a showdown not just between two players, but between two superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union. Fischer's incredible victory broke the Soviet Union's long domination of the chess world. It made chess front-page news and inspired a whole new generation of players, especially in America. The game had become a symbol of political and intellectual struggle. This match of the century showed just how much chess had become a part of global culture. It was a silent battle that could capture the world's attention. For a very long time, humans were the undisputed kings of chess. The game was seen as the ultimate test of human intelligence, a fortress of creativity and intuition that no machine could ever conquer. Early computer programs could play chess, but they were clumsy and easy to beat. The best grandmasters believed that a computer could never truly understand the deep, beautiful strategies of the game. Then, everything changed. In 1997, a historic match took place. The reigning human world champion Garry Kasparov sat down to play against a supercomputer built by IBM. The computer's name was Deep Blue. The world watched in shock as the machine defeated Kasparov. It was a turning point, not just for chess, but for the relationship between humans and technology. The machine had finally conquered the game that was supposed to be the ultimate symbol of human genius. Today, computers are an essential part of chess. The strongest chess player in the world is not a human, it is a computer program or engine that you can run on your phone or laptop. These programs have completely changed how people learn and play the game. Players use them to analyze their games, find their mistakes, and discover new strategies. Instead of destroying chess, computers have become powerful tools that help humans become even better players. They have unlocked new secrets of the game, showing us ideas and moves that no human had ever thought of before in its 1500-year history. So what is the future of chess? The game that started as a reflection of an ancient Indian army has journeyed through empires, survived revolutions, and now thrives in the age of computers. It is played by millions of people online every day, connecting players from all corners of the globe. Chess is more than just a game. It is a language, a science, and an art. It teaches us how to think, how to plan, and how to learn from our mistakes. Its 64 squares contain a universe of endless possibilities, a timeless battle of minds that continues to fascinate us, proving that this ancient game is still very much alive.